The hall was full, not just full, alive. Music in the air, laughter bouncing off the walls. The kind of noise a family makes when everyone they love is finally under one roof. Blessing was on her knees, cup in her hand, held out towards the man she had waited 15 years to find. This was tradition. The bride serves her husband first. Everyone knew the moment was coming, and everyone leaned in a little to watch it. Then, the door at the back opened. Nobody noticed at first. The band kept playing, the room kept smiling. A woman walked through the crowd, slowly, steadily, straight to the front, where the celebrant sat. She was heavily pregnant, and she stood right there, in full view of both families. That was when the room finally noticed. The band faltered, then stopped mid-note. The laughter died first in the back rows, then swept forward like something spreading. Silence dropped over the whole hall. Nobody in that little hall knew what was coming, not even Blessing, still on her knees, cup still in her hand, still waiting for an answer she thought she already had. Because long before this day, in a much smaller room, she had knelt exactly like this once before, asking God one question. She believed with her whole heart that He had already said yes. Hello besties, you are welcome to Faith Tales by More, where every story is real, every lesson is earned, and God always has the final say. Today's story, I need you to sit with it, not just watch it. Have you ever prayed and waited for a sign? Have you ever fasted for days, waiting for one red flag, just one, and none showed up? Before you understand what just happened in that hall, we need to go back to how this whole thing started with Blessing. Let's start from the beginning. Dinner was ready by 7, the way it always was. Blessing's mother stood over the pot, staring slowly, not really cooking anymore, just staring, the way she did most evenings now, a habit that had outlived any real reason for it. Should I dish yours? She asked. Her father didn't look up from his phone. He didn't answer at all. She dished it anyway, set it in front of him, walked back to the kitchen without another word. That was the marriage now. No shouting, no plate thrown, no door slammed hard enough for neighbors to talk about it the next morning. Just two people moving through the same rooms day after day, saying less and less to each other until there was almost nothing left to say. Just silence where what used to be. Blessing was 11 the first time she noticed it. By 13, she had stopped waiting for it to change. One night, her mother had already gone quiet in her room. Her father was out, some meetings that would run past midnight, the way they always did now, though nobody in the house believed it was really about work anymore. Blessing knelt by her bed. God, she whispered, I don't know what happened to them. I don't think they know either, but whatever it was, don't let it happen to me. She paused. If a man is going to go silent on me one day, show me now before I marry him, not after. She didn't know it then, but the prayer would sit quietly underneath every decision she made for the next 15 years. Every Friday night, the hostel emptied out. Girls got dressed up in new outfits, some in heels they didn't quite learn to walk in yet. Laughter and perfume trailing behind them all the way down the corridor and out into the compound, where Okada men waited to take them wherever the night was happening. Blessing stayed in. Her book stayed open. Her reading light stayed on. Her door stayed closed. You are not coming, Ngozi asked, adjusting an earring in the mirror. Not tonight, Blessing said. Ngozi turned around. Not tonight? Or not ever? Blessing smiled but didn't answer. Thursdays were different. The one night she was up before anyone else. Ironed clothes already laid out, Bible already packed, because she went to fellowship every single week, no exceptions. Rain pouring or sun blazing, it didn't matter. You and this fellowship, Ngozi said once, shaking her head. You are not a known, you know? I know, Blessing said. I am just not in a hurry. For what? For anything. God knows my address. Ngozi laughed at that. She always did. It had become their joke. But it wasn't a joke to Blessing. It was a vow, still sitting quietly under everything. Some Sunday night, the crying started down the hallway. It was always the same. Another girl, another boy. who had used her and disappeared the moment he got what he wanted. Blessing would hear it through the wall, sit with it a moment, then go back to her book. She wasn't judging, she was just grateful. Quietly, she had whispered a thank you for the waiting, even when the waiting felt like nothing was happening at all. It was her third year, a Thursday. Bible study ran long that night, a good discussion, the kind nobody wanted to cut short, so nobody minded when it stretched past the usual hour. A question came up about forgiveness. Does it wait for an apology first? Most people had an answer ready before the question even finished. Alex waited, then spoke, quiet, sure of himself, like a man who had already thought this through long before anyone asked. Forgiveness doesn't wait for sorry. If it did, it wouldn't be forgiveness. It would be a transaction. The room went still, not because it was clever, but because it was true. After the meeting, Blessing stood by the gate, waiting for a friend running late. Alex walked over. "You didn't say much in there," he said. "I was listening. Your face was doing something though, like you disagreed." She laughed. "Maybe I just didn't want to compete with your answer." "No competition here," he said. "Just people sharpening each other." That became their thing. The library, first just Tuesdays, then Tuesdays and Thursdays, then most days without either of them ever officially deciding it should be that way. Their books stayed open. Nobody actually read them. "You are not actually studying," he said once. "Neither are you." They would laugh, keep talking anyway. After service, the walk home got longer every week. The short way was 5 minutes. They never took the short way, and neither of them ever said why out loud, though both of them knew. Alex never rushed her, never touched her hand without asking with his eyes first. Every week, it looked more like an answer, the one she had been asking for since she was 13. Graduation came fast, and then it was over. The way big things always feel slow to arrive and quick to end. Fellowship life folded up quietly. No big goodbye, just people scattering to different cities, promising to keep in touch, most of them meaning it in the moment. Blessing went home, waiting for her service posting. And it turned out Alex was from the same town, 20 minutes from her house. A fact neither of them had known on campus, where nobody really asked where you were from, only which fellowship you belonged to. Back home was different. Her mother had one rule for new seasons: find a church first, everything else comes after. Blessing found one, Grace Assembly. Small, no big screens, no fog machines, just a pastor who remembered your name after one handshake, and somehow your grandmother's names also. Pastor Hemeka, great at the temples, never in a hurry, prayed longer than he preached. Within weeks, Blessing trusted him the way she had trusted almost no one. Alex started coming too, sitting a few rows back, never making it obvious, though everyone eventually noticed anyway. 6 months in, he asked her to walk with him after service, behind the building, where the small garden was. He didn't know. He didn't have a ring yet, just his hand finding hers. "I have been praying about this," he said. "I want to marry you. Church, family, everything done right." Her heart was loud enough that she thought he would hear it. "Yes," she said. "Yes, Alex." Walking home that evening, something in her finally exhaled. 15 years of waiting, and it had led here to this road, this moment, this man. Then, halfway down the road, a small thought tugged at her. He had gone quiet for almost a week before this. She had asked why. "Walk," he had said. "It is heavy right now." She hadn't pushed. She pushed the thought away now too. It was nothing. It has to be nothing. They were engaged now. There was no introduction date yet. Blessing did what she had promised herself at 13. She fasted for 3 days. No food, just water and prayer. The same way she had promised herself she would back when she first watched her parents' marriage come apart. "God," she said, kneeling in her small room, "confirm this. Is he the one? Don't let me walk into my parents' mistake with my eyes wide open." She waited for something, a verse jumping up the page, a dream, a warning in her spirit, anything at all. Nothing came. By day 3, just peace, quiet, settled, the kind everyone had always told her meant years. She carried that peace for several months. She had no idea what God was actually planning to show her with it. Over a month at Grace Assembly now, long enough that Pastor Emeka knew Alex's face, his voice in worship, the way he always arrived 5 minutes early, never a second late, week after week, without fail. So when Pastor Emeka called Alex in for a proper sit down, the way he did with every young man serious about a daughter of the church, Alex came without hesitation. "You have been faithful with us," he said, pointing to a chair. "Now, let's talk properly." They prayed. Then the question started. Alex had an answer for everything. Scripture ready, his vision for a home ready, his respect for blessing ready, each one arriving smoothly, right on the cue. Pastor Emeka nodded along, impressed honestly. Then, somewhere past the middle of the conversation, something shifted. A weight settled on him. Nothing Alex had said caused it. It was just there. Pastor Emeka studied him a bit too long. "Is there anything?" he asked slowly. "You should tell me before we go further. A child somewhere, a woman still unresolved. Now is the time, son, not later." Alex didn't flinch. "No, sir, nothing. I am free." Pastor Emeka nodded, prayed over him, sent him off with a handshake. The weight stayed behind, though it didn't leave with Alex. Weeks passed, the introduction taking shape a little more with every family meeting. Pastor Emeka called them both in together this time. Blessing sat beside Alex and already reaching for his before the meeting ever started. He prayed, then turned to Alex again. "I asked you this once alone. I am asking again in front of Blessing. Whatever you say now, you are saying it to her too. Any child outside this, any woman, anywhere, unresolved." Blessing turned to Alex, waiting. And here is what happened. I want you to watch closely here. For half a second, something moved across Alex's face. Fast, almost nothing. Blink and you would miss it. Alex smiled, squeezed her hand. "Pastor, I already answered this. Blessing, you know my heart. Nothing is hidden." Blessing squeezed back, relieved. She hadn't seen the flicker, but Pastor Emeka had seen it. And the weight in his spirit still hadn't moved. And here is where it turns. Come along. Sister Ronke from Grace Assembly had a friend whose neighbor was a young pregnant woman. One of those loose, easy conversations that exist in every neighborhood without anyone thinking much of them. One evening, they got talking about nothing serious until a name dropped. Alex. Sister Ronke froze. "Same Alex? The one from our church? The same one marrying Blessing soon?" She said nothing that night, but she couldn't let it go either. Quiet questions here, quiet questions there, careful enough that nobody noticed she was asking at all, until she was completely sure. Same man, 2 rows behind her, every Sunday, 6 weeks from an introduction. Her conscience gave her no peace. "Pastor, forgive me for troubling you," she said, catching him after service. "This wasn't something I went looking for. It found me, and now I can't carry it alone." She told him everything. Who the girl was, how she knew her, what she had confirmed herself with her own 2 ears. Pastor Emeka sat with it for a long time after she left. Can you imagine holding a secret like that? One sentence could save a woman's future or destroy an innocent man's name for nothing. He thought about the weight from that office meeting, how smoothly Alex had lied. He thought about how easy it would be to bury this. Who told you? Show me the proof. A whisper dies fast if nobody speaks louder than it. He decided this one wouldn't die quietly, even if it caused Blessing pain she wasn't ready for. Days passed. Pastor Emeka couldn't decide what to do. 6 weeks left. If he told Blessing now, an unproven rumor would plant a doubt that never leaves. If he said nothing, he would be the man who knew and stayed silent. By the 3rd day, he picked up his phone. Her name was already on the screen. His thumb stayed there, hovering. He put the phone down. "Not yet," he said out loud, to no one. "Not until I know for sure." 4 weeks left now. Twice, he drove to the compound Sister Ronke had mentioned. He sat in his car outside, hand on the door handle. He couldn't make himself go in. Twice, he drove home without knocking. The 3rd time, he finally knocked. He had decided to find the young woman himself, quietly confirm the truth one way or another, before Blessing or Alex knew anything. That night alone, he prayed, "If this is false, let it die quietly. before it touches a good man's name. But if it's true, don't let me be the coward who stayed silent. 3 weeks left. Blessing, still glowing with that peace, buried herself in wedding plans, fittings to attend, family meetings to sit through, a guest list that kept growing every time she checked it. She had no clue anything was being quietly checked behind her back. One evening, over Asoebi fabric, Alex snapped. Just a flash, gone as fast as it came. Sorry, he said immediately. Long week. Blessing waved it off. Wedding stress. Everyone gets tense. She had no idea she had just seen the same flicker Pastor Emeka saw weeks earlier in his office. Alex kept showing up, attentive to her mother, respectful with her uncles, generous, never flashy. Everyone who met him said the same thing over and over until it started to sound like a fact rather than an opinion. Blessing found a good one. 2 weeks left now. Pastor Emeka watched from a distance, praying every day, still unsure if he was protecting a woman he loved like a daughter or about to ruin an innocent man over nothing at all. 1 week left now. Pastor Emeka finally found her, the young woman Sister Ronke had mentioned. Convincing her took time. She was scared, ashamed, certain nobody would take her word over a man as smooth and well-loved as Alex. You don't need to shout, Pastor Emeka told her gently. You don't need to accuse anyone. Just come. Let the truth stand on its own. If it's real, God doesn't need you to fight for it. He just needs you to show up. She wept, relieved, mostly someone finally believed her. Okay, she said, I will come. Nobody else knew. Not Blessing, not either family, not Alex. The day arrived. The hall was packed, food everywhere, a band tuning up in the corner, aunties comparing hair ties like it was a competition nobody remembered signing up for. Blessing knelt in front of Alex, cup in her hand, ready to serve the traditional drink. She looked radiant, 15 years of waiting, finally landing here. Alex sat there, all smiles, shaking hands, playing the perfect son-in-law to be, so well that even the skeptical uncles were won over by the end of the first hour. Midway through, right as the MC called for the gift exchange, the back doors opened. A young woman walked in. Her steps were slow. She was visibly pregnant, one hand resting on her stomach. Confusion rippled through the rows. A few people laughed nervously, assuming she had wandered into the wrong hall. You won't believe what happened next. Her eyes went straight to Alex. You said you'd call me back. Her voice shook but carried. You stopped answering 3 months ago, Alex. Alex went white. What? Why are you here? This isn't... there is never a place for you, is there? She said, steadier now. I waited for you to do this the right way. You didn't, so I did it myself. She turned from him, faced both families. I am sorry to disturb your day, she said, voice trembling but clear. But you all deserve to know this man is the father of my child. The hall went dead silent. Alex opened his mouth. Nothing came out. He could have denied a rumor behind closed doors, could have denied a question asked in private weeks ago with no witnesses in the room. He could not deny this, not with 2 families watching, not with the proof standing right in front of him. Pastor Emeka stood, walked forward slowly. The introduction is cancelled, he said, loud enough for the whole hall to hear. The tears didn't come right away. She just sat there, frozen, the hall tilting slowly around her. Then it broke. Her mother's arms round her, aunties fanning her with programs. Somewhere behind her, Alex's voice, pleading with anyone who would listen, apologizing to people who had already stopped listening. She heard none of it. That night alone in her room, she knelt in the exact spot she had knelt years before. It was the same question, but this time it carried a new weight. God, she whispered, I asked you, I fasted, I felt peace, and I called it your yes. Something settled over her, slow and quiet. It wasn't shame, it was comfort. He hadn't failed to answer. He had answered fully, just not with a word, with a lesson, timed to a room full of witnesses, not a whisper meant for her alone. Months later, standing before her church family, her voice came out steady. I used to think God only speaks in yes or no, she said. Now I know better. Sometimes He answered with a lesson, one that protects you and teaches everyone watching at the same time. He was never silent, he was just timing it. At the back, Pastor Emeka sat quietly, thinking about a whisper he almost let slip past him, and a young woman brave enough to walk through a door most people never would, because sometimes God's clearest answer doesn't arrive as a private whisper in your spirit. It arrives in the full light of day in front of everyone who needs to learn from it, including you, my friend. Before you go, sit with this. Have you ever mistaken peace for permission, the way Blessing did? And if you were Sister Ronke, would you have said something too? Even not knowing yet if it was true. Guys, I want you to sit with that. Until next time on Faith Tales, stay prayerful, stay guided, stay focused. God bless you. Bye.